The tractor. I want it clean, Isabella. So what I want to try to do, get the cutting edge so it's cut just a little. So this project was actually one that I'm helping out my neighbor. The yard in the background that you see on the other side of that little ditch area is actually mine. But Dan had came to me and asked if we could do some excavating out on his yard because he was planning to put in a patio project. And this first attempt, you can see 3 failed attempts at doing this, just trying to use the bucket to cut the sod away and scoop it away, and it just didn't work. And so quickly I said, this isn't going to work. We grabbed the tiller and we're going to till that sod. And I got the shoes set real shallow, so it's just cutting 1.5 to 2 inches below that sod level to really cut that loose. As you can see, it did a really good job. This first pass I went ahead and scooped it up or pushed it up into a pile, and making the second pass here, I'm not going to bore you with a whole lot of the tilling on this part, but you can see it was just chewing through it. And we were in one of the drier seasons that we had. This was in July time frame, so pretty dry. This is a nice view of that tiller from on top of its deck. You can see how it's doing a real good job. I didn't have the RPMs of the tractor all the way up because we didn't want to throw stuff everywhere, but still it did a good job. You see here we're scooping the sod layer off of the dirt that's underneath, and the main idea here was we had to pull out quite a bit of the dirt that was closer to the house because it sloped away well. But we also had to excavate out some of the dirt on the front side because we needed to bring in 4 inches of fill rock to be packed. So it was a little tricky to get it all on grade, but we ended up getting Dan's transit out and setting that up to help us get it perfectly flat once we were ready to start bringing it. Here we're just back dragging away from those tiles. It's not going to tear up the tractor. This is all freshly tilled sod, so I was just dragging it back lightly. It does look like I got some pressure on it, but there was no hanging up or snags, so nothing major there. Here you can see I'm going in and scooping up what's been tilled soil. It doesn't have any sod really in it, so this is where we're actually going in and starting to cut that level down. Had to throw on the differential lock just to get enough bite, and the biggest trick is to keep that front end down on the tractor. It's just not quite heavy enough to engage, keep the front tires with traction, but did end up getting a full bucket there, so I was pretty pleased with it, even though I looked grumpy. And stockpiling your dirt, if you are looking to do a project like this, I would advise keeping the sod dirt piled separate from the fill dirt. So if you do got to bring that fill back in, you can. And here you can see I'm bringing in the first bucket full of rock. It was a little tricky. We had the rock all piled up on the driveway, and to get from the backyard to the front yard was not really an easy task. You had to go down a pretty steep bank, and so couldn't do that at an angle or couldn't turn, so I had to go around a little bit. And another trick was I couldn't get a full bucket to carry it because it would spill over. So the small bucket loads that each time, but it was definitely faster than shoveling into a little trailer and unshoveling and doing it that way. So if you're in the mind to get a subcompact tractor, this is one of the advantages, is much faster than loading. And through all the videos that we've shot and all the different projects that we've worked on, I've never really reviewed this BX tractor. I had bought this last year to do a project in between actually my yard and Dan's yard here. We put in a bunch of tiles, and instead of hiring it done, we rented an excavator, and I bought this tractor, and we got the project done for significantly less than it was going to cost. So I was pretty happy to get a tractor and get back to my farming background, but definitely been useful. We've done lots of projects with it, helped out a lot of people, and you know, looking forward to the future project. At this point, we're bringing in some fill to bring the yard up to the level of the patio, and trying to use mostly sod dirt, because it is the topsoil layer. If we have topsoil in this area, if you want to call the clay that we're working with topsoil. But putting it out, it was pretty cloddy, so you can see here Dan trying to break them up with the rake, and I just tell him, you know, we're gonna have to hit it with the tiller. So you'll see that in just a moment where I till through, and I'm super careful because that concrete was no more than a day or two old at that point, so trying not to damage it. Here I'm tilling that cloddy fill dirt with the tiller, and it did mellow out pretty well. We're running super low RPM on the engine, just enough to break the clods up so that we can rake it out. So Dan, we're here, and we wrapped up the project, what, 3 months ago or something like that?
Yeah, right around there.
And but basically, we wanted to do a wrap-up video of this project. We've got a lot of the introduction video where we see it all coming apart. Now's actually a really good time because you got excellent grass growing here. So
yeah, beforehand it was just all dirt all the way around here.
Yeah, so it does give you a really nice finished product review of it. Plus you got your lighting structure up.
Yeah, we added the lights and the stairs off the deck here. It came together really nicely.
Yep. I guess we also wanted to talk a little bit about the second project that we worked on. It was the fire pit project. And you want to explain what you did there?
Yeah, so the ground slopes away here. We cut out a dead tree, and it seemed like a really ideal place to put a fire pit. But the instant that we put it in, we found out that if you're sitting on a slope, it's really kind of uncomfortable, plus your drink slides off the arm of your chair. So we wanted to cut a nice circle out of the hill so you had a flat place to sit, and put a nice ring of masonry stone around it so that it gave it a nice finished look. And I'll tell you, without the tractor to help with the excavation, I'd have been digging for weeks. We excavated a dirt pile that was, what would you say, at least 3 or 4 yards.
Yeah,
more.
There was quite a pile.
So I dug out about a quarter of it by hand while Jason was on vacation, and decided to kind of strategically wait until he got back. So.
All right. Well, thanks again for having us over. It was a fun project.
No problem.
We got to use the tractor a lot.
Jason's the best neighbor in the world. A lot of this stuff would be not finished if it wasn't for him and his ability to run that Kubota.
Yeah. Go Huser helpers, right? So
give him a call.
Hit like on our YouTube channel to this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out our Facebook page as well. It's Huser Helpers. Thanks and have a great day. Bye.
Bye.